Hello everybody. I got something I want to show you here. I always believe what goes around comes around. And I ran into a fellow when I was over in Charter Oak and mowing my lots over there, and he's working on this old house that was been empty for a while. A small house. It's probably 100 years old. And it's pretty sad shape. Well, I went over and asked him about getting rid of a couple of part of a tree stump that was in the backyard. They used to be some pine trees is what they was, and they separated my lots I own over there and that house next door. And they were laying in the backyard, and I asked him if he'd want me to haul them away. I had my son-in-law's trailer that I hauled my mower on. I had room to throw them on. I had some branches I had to trim off a tree that's kind of on the edge of the street. The city was complaining about them, so I trimmed them back and threw that on there. So I thought I'll bring it all home and throw it in my burn pile. He said, yeah, he appreciated that. And I just told him I try being neighborly and help people out if I can. I got talking to him a little bit, and he was working on this house for a lady. She didn't have a lot of money. She bought the house for $5,000. She really didn't have the money to fix it up, to buy material. There was a few new windows in it. And it's a small house. It's only like 3 rooms, kitchen, living room, and there's a bathroom, I think. It was small. Wasn't even really bedrooms in there. It was just 3 rooms. And so he was working on it. He's being kind and helping her out. He said, I'm working on it for free. She ain't got no money to pay me, but he was just trying to help the lady out and fix this house up. And I told him I lived out in the country and stuff where I lived. And he said, you wouldn't happen to have any old lumber laying around, would you, that you don't need? He says, because she really can't afford anything. She gets paid every 2 weeks, and she's lucky if she has $100 to give me to buy any material I might need. $100 don't go very far with the price of lumber and stuff. So I said, you know, I happen to be tearing a barn down, and I think I could help you out. So I did. I gave him some shiplap boards. He needed some boards for the porch is what he needed. He needed some flooring, and then he needed some 2x6s for the floor joists. Well, I happened to have some that I could help give him, and so I hooked him up with them. And it was that day, later that day or the next day, is when my son called me and asked me about that corn, if I could use some feed, that they had that corn that they took out of that bowl down there at work. And so like I said, if things go around, they come around. I help somebody out in need, and then somebody else ended up helping me out. It was the same day. I think it was the same day. And then I had left that day, and that's when my son called me. I left the elevator after getting that corn. Actually, it was the second day, because I went down the first day and loaded up the 2 totes. The next day I went down there to get the last of it that I didn't get, which was about half a full-size pickup load. And then I left there, and he called me and said, you want more grain? And then he tells me about some more that they're going to vac out of a big pit area. And when he told me about it, I said, how much is down there? And he says, I don't know. He says, they say there's a lot, but I haven't seen it. Well, I'm going to show you how much it is. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see this pile. I will give you a hint. They brought it in a semi-trailer, but it was a single hopper semi-trailer. If you're familiar with semi-trailers, most of the time they have 2 hoppers, sometimes 3. But mainly 2, and this one was just a single hopper, but it was a big hopper. So it was loaded with beans and corn mixed, but majority beans. Right there it is. As you can see, it's a big pile. I asked him to weigh the truck before he left the elevator, and he was going to, and then he forgot, to see how many tons of feed I got. My grandson Logan, he's planning on buying some pigs and fattening them up. I've been paying him a little bit of money as he's been working with me on the barn. He's been saving it. Well, he's going to invest in it. He's going to invest in a couple pigs, and we're going to feed him out with this. So the feed cost is nothing. He'll have no cost in to fatten them up. He'll have a little bit of gas money hauling them to the sale barn when they're full grown. And he'll have some money to put in savings to save for a car or truck when he gets older. And he's only 6, so he'll be 7 next month. But he's thinking. I tried teaching him that stuff, that you got to invest wisely. Like he bought his hammer, and I told him he could always use that. It'd make him money. learn excuse me, learn carpentry work. Learn carpentry work or use it to build a chicken house, a deck, whatever. But this is a pile of corn. And, or I should say corn and beans, and it's big. I'm guessing probably fill at least 10 of them IBC totes or more. That's a lot. Oh, I bet way more than 10, to be honest with you. I have some IBC totes, but I don't think I'll have enough to fill these or to carry all this stuff. So I'm gonna have to find some other containers. Well, I better get off here so I can get the rest of this here kind of scooped up in the center, narrow that row, or that pile I should say, and then get that plastic over it. Because it's supposed to rain here about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock I think it's gonna rain. So I wanted to get it covered up, get them beans right there that fell off the plastic. Get that scooped up and put in a container so I can feed it out to the pigs. But, well, thanks for joining me, everybody. Sorry I rambled on so long. I thought I'd show you my free feed. This is a mother load here. I won't need to go over to the bean plant and scoop up beans for a long time, but I suppose if there's some over there, I probably will if I can find a place to store them. Because you never know, things might get hard. And I got enough feed to feed out hogs for quite a few years if I only have a few head. So it'll help me out. See y'all later, and don't forget I love you. Bye.